Hello everybody, welcome to the Frog Pond. It is Swag Frog here, and today we're going to be sort of making a little bit of a de facto Conquest guide. Never really done one of these before, but this new Conquest seems pretty easy and relatively beginner friendly. So, without further ado, I think we should go ahead and jump right into it. But before I do that, just introducing you guys as a longtime favorite, I guess. I mean, he loves being here, and I think you guys like having him here, but Trooper's on break. Go ahead and say hi really quick.
Buenos dias, or I guess buenos noches, right now.
Don't mind my crystal count, by the way. I know I'm going to get flamed in the comments for my 39 crystals, but I assure you it all went to a very good cause named Hu Yang. So, anyways, let's go ahead and break it down. And yes, I do have to include the breakdancing gif. It's pretty much a requirement. So credit where credit is due. Obviously, Sig on the Sugo Events Discord is really big about putting together neat graphs and stuff. And then there was another graph that I really liked from Cantina Lords. I think it'll be on the screen. All credit where credit is due. I will put that on the screen for you guys. That breaks down some of the recommended teams for each of the feats, some of the recommended characters, that type of stuff. So if you're interested in checking that out, it's maybe a little bit more comprehensive, but you know, I've got some additional information on here that I think is also useful, so went ahead and did a full guide for it. Anyways, diving right into it, we're gonna go ahead and show off our first little squad here. So you'll notice that each of these has some abbreviations. I will go into kind of what they mean. S1 just means Sector 1, S2 Sector 2, so forth, so forth. Any more than that, we will get into and kind of break down. So first off is your very standard Mercenaries and Crit Chance Down team. It's just going to be a standard Dash Rendar team. Really, really easy to find, budget friendly. Most people have Dash Rendar sitting around, whether it's from Starkiller bundles or you just have the shards for him so you can take him up to a decent gear. Basically, you just got to get his speed fast enough so that he can get right out there with Seeker missiles, and boom, that's five instances of crit damage down. So pretty easy, pretty simple. Also completes your mercenaries feat as long as you throw in smugglers that are also mercenaries, and there's really not much else to say there. So very standard team.
Yeah, and then the next one we're gonna get into is the what is that? Crit damage down, and then the Morgan Elsbeth surviving feat right there. So for this one, you're really gonna be using that Basilican Fallen. With her AoE, she inflicts fear and expose along with crit damage down on that AoE. So that's going to be, again, just like Dash Rendar, 5 instances right out there. And then also with that Morgan Elsbeth's survivability, you can really do that. All you gotta get is that voluntary Vanguard. You're gonna see that a lot in this conquest on Darth Malik. And then you're going to get that feat easily done with Morgan Elsbeth surviving those 10 battles.
Be super careful with the Morgan Elspeth one, though, because she does like to taunt, so you don't want to really have her, excuse the missing mod there. I think I stole it from her because I don't really use her. Be really, really careful. She does often taunt on her own. I don't know exactly where it is, but she likes to taunt. So just be really careful that she's not just a flimsy paperweight and is just going to die to one hit. Also, there will, yes, be a lot of voluntary Vanguard. How to use it, keep in mind you just need a really strong tank, i.e. Kylo Ren Unmasked Darth Malik, or like Jedi Master Luke, and then voluntary Vanguard should usually mark them and other allies take reduced damage, and as long as you're not throwing into giant AoE teams, it should usually be fine.
And then the next one is pretty straightforward. I'll take this one. It's just a blight. Seems pretty straightforward. You get blight off of Night Trooper, as well as just, I think, dying off. You get some blight, I believe, or is that decay?
That's decay.
Or,
but it does spread blight onto all
Enoch's
the enemies
lead really
in
spreads
AoE.
blight. Yeah. Yes,
Also,
yes,
Death
yes,
Trooper
yes.
Peridia's first special, as well as his basic, can both inflict Blight. Once Night Trooper gets plenty of Blight, you can use Share My Suffering to stack a bunch of Blight. It's really, really easy to get Blight. It shouldn't take you more than 1 to 2 battles, even with a low gear team. And, I mean,
Mm.
you can have the Zetas, but you don't need them. Night Trooper, pretty consistently reliable on getting that for you.
Yeah,
And
yeah, and then Enoch's lead also helps with the spreading the blight around as well to help you get it more. So just like Swag said, it should only take you 1 to 2 battles.
most certainly. And then also keep in mind that the mini boss for first sector also has defeat an enemy with Death Trooper Peridia. So as long as you do have like some Blight synergy where you can stack up enough Blight to launch his AoE, or his, not AoE, but his just a little nibble, then you should be fine even with a lower gear Death Trooper Peridia. But that might be one where people without a decent gear Death Trooper Peridia skip out on. As you will come to find, this at Conquest is actually incredibly easy and very friendly for people who are maybe a little newer, who have just gotten into like light speed bundles and stuff. And hopefully you farmed an Inquisitor team, because as you'll find out in this next one up, goodness, my English is fantastic. Inquisitors are going to become a very, very big player for this conquest, as they not only contribute to the global feat of winning battles with Darkside unaligned Force users, which you really should be able to do without much of any issue at all, considering Supreme Leader Kylo Ren is a Darkside Ufu, but basically, what I'm stabbing at here is the Inquisitors are also going to be able to get you potency up. Yes, pot up means potency up. For the random YouTube moderator who's looking at this 18 years down the road when I'm monetized. But Fifth Brother is gonna go ahead and give you potency up in mass on his on his first special. Goodness, the kill is mine. And then you also have a little bit more potency up. Eighth Brother is going to give it to himself with hunting a shadow, just his unique ability. Whenever he gets stealth, he's going to get potency up. So just a little bit of extra baked in there, but mainly it's Fifth Brother really giving it to you there.
Yeah, and then Sector 2 boss for the mercenaries, as you see right there. Just another standard Dash Rendar team right there. Doesn't have to be all light side, anything like that, but do remember on Dash Rendar's basic, if it is a critical hit, all light side, I believe Scoundrels will assist him. So just keep that in mind. Maybe it'll make the battle easier.
Definitely. For basically any of the mercenaries feats, just use whatever mercenaries you have. It should be decent enough to take down most of the mercenary feats. They're not that difficult in terms of feats, so you shouldn't have too much issue with it. Next up is Armor Shred. We've all seen the Armor Shred before, back with the Queen Amidala Conquest. It's not that difficult to do. Just throw in whatever characters you have with Armor Shred, crank it out in a couple battles. This one's really random, but like Third Sister has an Armor Shred, which is gonna, she'll give some Purge, blah blah blah. Eighth Brother's got an Armor Shred as long as they've got 5 stacks of Purge. General Skywalker's got an Armor Shred. Zalbar's got an Armor Shred. Armor's got an Armor Shred. Basically any character. Oh yeah, regular Sabine as well has an Armor Shred, should be pointed out. Pretty decent in the Phoenix lineup. You can usually get like 2 to 3 a battle that way. But if you really just want to crank out Armor Shred and you aren't too concerned about actually moving through the battles with it, just use any characters that have Armor Shred.
Pretty straightforward. I'll actually let you take this next one because I am one of those suffering souls that will not have the Inquisitors for this conquest. So those of you that have Inquisitors for conquest, you guys are very fortunate, as you guys will see.
Oh man, people with Inquisitors have been eating good for a hot minute. Inquisitors have just been consistently important in basically every single conquest. So, wow, yippee, Inquisitors are back once again. Darkside Unaligned Force users in the global feat. In case you haven't somehow already managed to get it with your lovely Reva Inquisitors. No, you don't need Reva. None of this requires Reva. I just want to make that said. You can sub in Ninth Sister just fine. Honestly, I don't even think you need Grand Inquisitor, but you do if you want to actually progress through the conquest. So If you've got it, great. If you don't, probably not the most necessary thing, but I mean, if you got Riva, that's best case scenario. Anyways, they also inflict accuracy down, a lot of accuracy down. Eighth Brother's AoE is going to inflict accuracy down in mass, on an AoE, so that's 5 to 6 stacks of accuracy down. And then Seventh Sister, as long as the enemy has 3 stacks of Purge, whenever she assists with her, or whenever another Inquisitorious ally uses a special, no, it's just an ability. Yeah, uses an ability during their turn, she will assist and inflict a stack of accuracy down. Not the most important part. That's kind of like the fifth brother gaining potency, or the eighth brother gaining potency up. Mainly you're hinging on that eighth brother, but it's just kind of a nice addition to make it go just a little bit faster.
Yeah, and this next one is much more simple, and something that I think we all know is stun. I think we all know how to get stunned with Empire. Any enemy that has shock on them when Palpatine uses his first special, they are going to be stunned.
They don't even need shock. It's just a 70% chance. Yeah.
70% chance. Oh.
It's guaranteed on shock, but...
Yes, guaranteed on shock. Yeah. And then also, as well as Mara Jade, on her first special, she stuns the target enemy. And also inflicts tenacity down, which will help make those...
Excuse the mod, I once again stole it.
The king of mods is missing too many mods.
Yeah, on my Gear 9 characters. Who cares?
Shame. Shame.
Yeah, super shame. Second Sister also does have a stun. If you're really concerned about that and you just need to use your Second Sister for some reason. Anyways, you've also got the option of Jedi Knight Luke and blah blah blah. There's a million options for stun. Anybody with a stun on basic, Isla Secura, even not Talzin, what's her name? Daka. Daka's got a stun on her basic, Asaja's stun on her basic, and one of the global feats just so happens to be win with Night Sisters, so not a bad place to get your stuns either if you got a decent Night Sister team up. Also, Marin has a stun.
Perfect. And then this next one I just thought of on the fly, I'm not gonna lie, because I used it in previous Conquest without even this feat. The no lead, winning 10 battles with no lead. Just throw in Malik and Bane. Bane's gonna get that rule of 2 bonus that is in his unique. And that's really just going to supercharge him, even without the Omicron for GAC. As Swag's pulling up, it's just supercharging him, even in Conquest. And you're going to easily be able to get that 10 wins with no lead. Just throw Malik and Bane in.
Now, I probably wouldn't recommend only having Relic 1 on your Malik. That's something I need to go take care of a little later, but point stands the same. It's really cheap stamina-wise because it only requires 2 units. So that's a good one if you're really struggling somehow with the no lead. There's a lot of stuff that you can do, like throwing just regular Galactic Legends into their own team, just not as a leader. And obviously, voluntary Vanguard shenanigans to make stuff way easier. Voluntary Vanguard is a surprisingly underrated disc. But anyways, jumping into the next one, we're going into Sector 4 now. Am glossing over some of the feats. Sorry, I didn't want the video to get too long, and also a lot of the feats are pretty self-explanatory, like winning with Sabine Wren. Basically, if it says win with or so-and-so surviving, just use any of your tanks with Voluntary Vanguard and you should be just fine. And, I mean, yeah, like, basically everything else is pretty self-explanatory. I don't think I need to tell you how to, in Sector 3, like, win the boss with only Darkside characters. Or win without using any Jedi, Sith, or Unaligned Force users. There's just,
Lord Vader.
Yeah, there's just a billion teams where you can get those done, so I didn't think it too important to talk about some of these more common kind of throwaway feats in a way. So, yeah. That's why I'm glossing over them. Feel free to flame me in the comments for it. I don't really care. Anyways, right back at you with the only one we've got in Sector 4. No losses as well as speed down. So if you manage to pick up the Volatile Accelerator, which you absolutely should, General Grievous just seems to go straight up insane off of B2's unique reactive protocol. Whenever he inflicts a debuff, all other Separatist allies gain 5% turn meter, Separatist droid specifically, and that's just gonna, cause basically an infinite turn meter loop if you've got a decent enough Volatile Accelerator, on top of General Grievous's lead, which is gonna give every time target locked enemy is damaged, each droid and Separatist ally will get 2% turn meter, doubled for Grievous. And I believe there's some more turn meter shenanigans somewhere, but I really wasn't able to find them anywhere. I will continue to search. Anyways, Nuke Gunray as well has mass speed down, so pretty simple. Use it like 2 times if you can, and that is easily 5 battles that it will take to get you inflict speed down. Or you can use it for the full 10, use it once a battle, and get your win with 10 battles without losing any units. And then
Yeah, and a quick side note is he has 2 lives also. So he's gonna die one time. When he comes back, he's under stealth. So you can most likely get the extortion off twice. So that's 10 speed down in one battle.
Well, he
so
also
just that swag. So
he also revives with 100% turn meter, so the chances of him getting off his dubious dealings is very, very high.
Yeah.
So you can basically guarantee it at least once a battle. So, anyways,
I'll let you take this next one with all the Inquisitors. I don't like that.
Briefly glossing over the remaining feats, once again, very self-explanatory. Full squad of Ufu. Inquisitors. Night Trooper. You love your Inquisitors. I do. I'm so happy I farmed them. That was a great decision. Thank you, past swag. Anyways, I mean, it might. But 10 battles with Night Trooper and Enoch, self-explanatory. Do the thing, or be like me and wail and cry, but, you get a bunch of feats off of it, so who cares. And then Shin, same deal, Voluntary Vanguard, super, super good. Just try and filter it in as much as you can so you don't have to go back and repeat battles later, which is always just the most delightful thing. Anyways, guess who it is again? We've got more Inquisitors. Wow, crazy. You just stick them under Supreme Leader Kylo Ren's lead, and you're going to get a bunch of crit damage up, and then you're also going to get your win 15 battles with full squad of Darkside Ufus. Wow, as if you haven't already done that like 15 times over. I would be surprised if you get to Sector 5 and you're doing all the other feats and you haven't managed to get that global feat, but just for good measure, that's where you can get crit damage up easy enough.
Yeah, and a quick side note to that as well is the fact that one of the global feats is when with Moroccan Shin Hati. And surprise, surprise, they're both unaligned force users, dark side, so you can do that as well. And they don't have to survive. Whoa!
That's true. They don't have to survive as well. They still get crit damage up from Kylo lead. Or, you can just slap Reva, Malik, whoever you want, and just use Voluntary Vanguard and grind with it. Wow.
Yep.
Wild.
Wild takes. All right, and then this last one is pretty self-explanatory with the you gotta evade 100 attacks. When I first saw that, it looked quite menacing, but then Swag came up with this lineup. Very self-explanatory. R2 passes a lot of, I believe, evasion and on his smoke screen thing. And then also Jedi Training Rey, she stacks Mastery, which is evasion. So the more she dodges, the higher her Mastery gets, and she's going to be dodging like crazy. Was there anything else in this lineup?
No, basically just BB-8 for more foresight, self-preservation protocol. And then Amel and Holdo to pass foresight. Whoa, crazy. But essentially, you can knock this battle out really, really fast by just going into a Mon Mothma squad. As long as you smoke screen onto Jedi Training Rey, she's the only one they can target. She's gonna get so many evasions. It's not even funny. I mean, it's funny. It's hilarious. It is actually quite funny. But I honestly think you can crank 50 to 60 evasions in one battle just by using Mon Mothma with this team. So don't sleep on it. Lots of people have Rey. Also, if you don't, somehow, Hermit Yoda works great. Just use like Hermit Yoda, Jedi Knight Revan. It's gonna be a lot slower than this, but basically anything with mass foresight should do you fine.
Yep, and then JMK's, when he gives damage immunity, he gives foresight to everyone as well. So just, if you want to use him as well.
Yep, very
And
annoying.
then-
Anything with mass foresight.
Yep.
And yeah, I'm not going to baby you guys through the rest of the feats. You should be able to figure out how to win with Shin surviving at this point. It's not like
wait,
we've said
what
it
do I do?
100 times or anything.
Wait, so against Night Sisters, I use Empire, right?
Yeah. Genius. Yep, 100%. Anyways, a couple of data discs to look out for to make your conquest a little bit more of a breeze. Make sure to look out for Weak Spot. Weak Spot is so overpowered. It's a lovely data disc. Also, Ruthless Offense, not bad at all, especially when you're facing like Kylo Ren unmasked, because he's just going to frequently heal back to 100% health. Knock him below, he heals back up. Knock him below, he heals back up. That's like 10% offense, 10% offense. Gets pretty ridiculous pretty fast. I mean, I think Weak Spot is still a little better, but use both. And Volatile Accelerator. You want Volatile Accelerator basically every single time. And then Voluntary Vanguard. Those are like the most notable data discs. You can pick up a lot of them. There's a lot of really useful ones. I like this one.
Certain Defeat's a good one.
Yeah, Certain Defeat's good. There's this one where whenever they use a basic, they're going to call another ally to assist. I really like that. I found that to be pretty useful for a lot of different things, especially with Weak Spot. Funny enough. Because it's just getting extra attacks in, which just scales their offense even more, but just keep your eyes out for anything that synergizes with a couple of those main data discs, as well as, you know, anything that stacks max health, max protection can be pretty decent too, and usually those ones are pretty cheap anyways, so overall, this is a pretty stinking easy conquest, and you shouldn't have too much issue trying to red crate, so I wish y'all luck with that, and anything you'd like to say to send them off, troopers?
Yeah, just if you're like me and you didn't farm your Inquisitors, well, this is the conquest you're gonna pay. Just
I think
join
you'll
me
be
in my
fine.
suffering.
I think you'll be fine. I don't think it's required. It just makes your life much easier.
Yeah.
Anyways, without further ado, it has been such a pleasure talking to you guys about Conquest. Feel free to leave suggestions for teams, anything like that. If you like this video, you know, feel free to comment, like. I like the feedback. If I should make more of these in the future, blah. I know Conquest isn't even out yet, but who cares? Anyways, that's basically my 2 cents. Thank y'all for listening. See you guys in the next one.